Tourist guide covers major attractions of Chicago and its suburbs. Contents: details of Chicago City Pass, Willis Tower, Sears Tower Shed Aquarium, Field Museum, Adler Planetarium, Millennium Park and Buckingham Fountain, Navy Pier, Brookfield Zoo, and Botanic Garden. Chicago is the largest city in the U.S. state of Illinois. With nearly 2.7 million residents, it is the most populous city in the Midwestern United States and the third most populous in the USA, after New York City and Los Angeles. Its metropolitan area, sometimes called Chicagoland, is the 27th most populous urban agglomeration in the world, the largest in the Great Lakes megalopolis, and the third largest in the United States. In 2008, the city hosted 45.6 million domestic and overseas visitors. City Pass gives you VIP admission to 5 must-see Chicago attractions: Shed Aquarium, the Field Museum, Skyduck Chicago, Adler Planetarium or Art Institute of Chicago, John Hancock Observatory or Museum of Science and Industry. City Pass is valid 9 days from day of first use. Skip most ticket lines with City Pass in hand. The Willis Tower, formerly named, and still commonly referred to as, the Sears Tower, is a 108-story, 1,451-foot skyscraper in Chicago, Illinois. At the time of its completion in 1973, it was the tallest building in the world, surpassing the World Trade Center towers in New York, and it held this rank for nearly 25 years. The Willis Tower is the tallest building in the United States and the 7th tallest freestanding structure in the world. Shed Aquarium is an indoor public aquarium in Chicago, Illinois in the United States that opened on May 30, 1930. The aquarium contains over 25,000 fishes, and was for some time the largest indoor aquarium in the world with 5 million U.S. gallons of water. The Shed Aquarium was the first inland aquarium with a permanent saltwater fish collection. It is surrounded by Museum Campus Chicago, which it shares with the Adler Planetarium and the Field Museum of Natural History. The aquarium has 2 million annual visitors. The Field Museum was incorporated in the state of Illinois on September 16, 1893 as the Columbian Museum of Chicago, with its purpose the accumulation and dissemination of knowledge, and the preservation and exhibition of objects illustrating art, archaeology, science and history. In 1905, the museum's name was changed to Field Museum of Natural History to honor the museum's first major benefactor, Marshall Field, and to better reflect its focus on the natural sciences. In 1921 the museum moved from its original location in Jackson Park to its present site on Chicago Park District property near downtown, where it is part of a lakefront museum campus that includes the John G. Shed Aquarium and the Adler Planetarium. These 3 institutions are regarded as among the finest of their kind in the world and together attract more visits annually than any comparable site in Chicago. The Adler Planetarium and Astronomy Museum in Chicago, Illinois, was the first planetarium built in the Western Hemisphere and is the oldest in existence today. Adler was founded and built in 1930 by the philanthropist Max Adler, with the assistance of the first director of the planetarium, Philip Fox. Located on Northerly Island, it is a part of Chicago's museum campus along with the Shed Aquarium and the Field Museum of Natural History. Millennium Park and Buckingham Fountain. Buckingham Fountain is a Chicago landmark in the center of Grant Park. Dedicated in 1927, it is one of the largest fountains in the world. Built in Rococo wedding cake style and inspired by the Latona fountain at the Palace of Versailles, it is meant to allegorically represent Lake Michigan. It operates from April to October, with regular water shows and evening color light shows. During the winter, the fountain is decorated with festival lights. Millennium Park is a public park located in the Loop community area of Chicago in Illinois, USA, and originally intended to celebrate the millennium. It is a prominent civic center near the city's Lake Michigan shoreline that covers a 24.5-acre section of northwestern Grant Park. The area was previously occupied by Parkland, Illinois Central Rail Yards, and parking lots. The park, which is bounded by Michigan Avenue, Randolph Street, Columbus Drive and East Monroe Drive, features a variety of public art. As of 2009, Millennium Park Trail-only Navy Pier has a Chicago tourist attraction. Navy Pier is a 3,300-foot-long pier on the Chicago shoreline of Lake Michigan. The pier was built in 1916 at a cost of $4.5 million, equivalent to $90.5 million today. It was a part of a plan of Chicago developed by architect and city planner Daniel Burnham and his associates. As Municipal Pier No. 2, Navy Pier was planned and built to serve as a mixed-purpose piece of public infrastructure. Its primary purpose was as a cargo facility for late freighters, and warehouses were built up and down the pier. However, the pier was also designed to provide docking space for passenger excursion steamers, and in the pre-air conditioning era parts of the pier, especially its outermost tip, were designed to serve as cool places for public gathering and entertainment. The pier even had its own streetcar. Today, Navy Pier is Chicago's #1 tourist attraction. Next is Brookfield Zoo. The Brookfield Zoo is located in the Chicago suburb of Brookfield, Illinois. The zoo covers an area of 216 acres and houses around 450 species of animals. Brookfield Zoo, also known as Chicago Zoological Park, opened on July 1, 1934, and quickly gained international recognition for using moats and ditches, instead of cages, to separate animals from visitors and from other animals. The zoo was also the first in America to exhibit giant pandas, one of which has been taxidermied and put on display in Chicago's Field Museum of Natural History. In 1960, Brookfield Zoo built the nation's first fully indoor dolphin exhibit, and in the 1980s the zoo introduced Tropic World, the first fully indoor rainforest simulation and the then largest indoor zoo exhibit in the world. The Brookfield Zoo is owned by the Cook County Forest Preserve District and managed by the Chicago Zoological Society. The Society sponsors numerous research and conservation efforts globally. Chicago Botanic Garden is located at 1000 Lake Cook Road, Glencoe, Illinois, USA. It is a 385-acre living plant museum situated on 9 islands featuring 24 display gardens and surrounded by 4 natural habitats: McDonald Woods, Dixon Prairie, Skokie River Corridor, and Lakes and Shores. The garden is open every day of the year. Admission is free but parking is $20 per car, free for garden members.